Thank you, Sagar Group of Institute, for inviting me, for sharing my knowledge with the audience. It's always pleasure to connect with everyone and share our experience that how we are doing it, how we are building some startup and all. So, good afternoon, everyone. So I just want to structure this talk from like first personal introduction, then what Freshfocard is doing, and then about our journey. So there were like bad times, there were good times. So about that, and what is our USP, how we are building it, and what is the meaning of building a sustainable startup. So I have choose this topic that because there are so many startups, different type of startups. So what is the meaning of sustainable building a sustainable startup? And then like what are our future plans, and in the end I will take your questions. Yeah, so about my introduction, so I come from a very small village in Rajasthan, in Nagaur district of Rajasthan. My parents, they still do farming, and also we have some land and we do farming. So I come from core farming family. Till I was in ninth or 10th class, I was like you can say part-time farmer involved in the agriculture part at my hometown. Post that, for graduation I went to like some nearby city, and post that I got selected in AIEEE. Through that I went to Triple IT Jabalpur. So my vision when I was like used to work in the field with along with my parents, it was always a vision that how we can, because I was always interested in the computers and all, because I was unable to get the computer. I only saw in my school timing in first time in the ninth class. So it was it excited me that how I can I like that model. So how we can use this in like lifetime in the future also. So I saw the struggle of farmers, what they were doing. Even when I was at the home, many time I used to pick up vegetables from our farms and need used to go to sell in nearby markets. So that time I also used to say like what I was good in math, so I always used to do the calculations like how much farmers are earning. And my parents always used to say that don't calculate, because if you calculate, there will not be nothing which we are earning. So we never calculate that how much we are earning, and we keep doing our hard work that you can get good educations and all. So post that I went to Triple IT. I did computer science engineering, so learned about computer science, and then I did my internship in Bangalore in some startup. And so there I found like how people are building the startup, what is startup, how businesses are built from the scratch. So post that I went to go through campus placement. I joined a company in uh, Mumbai. So there was a startup called Asan Pay that was based out of Hyderabad only, and they was acquired by a company called Suvidha Infosys. So there I was working as a software developer. Then we have built some payment software. So then again, it gave me chance to work more on the software part and develop some interesting technologies. Post that, I was hired by Oyo Room's first investor, uh, Mr. Sarvan Shroff. So he was the first investor who gave first stake to the Oyo Rooms. So there he hired me as a first employee, and my task was to build some products for nearby like markets, like you can say tier two countries like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, or for some companies, software develop softwares for like Dubai-based or companies. So there I built things there from scratch. So I learned like how I need to hire a technology team, how we need to coordinate with the business teams. Even they were investing in a startup, so I learned like how the investments are happening, what they see in the startup, where they were putting the money, what are the like struggles for the startups, what are the what the startups are doing, and what how why the startups are failing. So I learned so many things there, and it was always a vision to do something for the community from I came from. Even I always saw the farmer struggle, so wanted to do something for farmers only. So when while working in the Mumbai only, we started doing research about this agriculture market. It was around in November December 2016. So that time we first problem what we have encountered that my parents they also grow onions, and the onion rate at our fields were around 4 rupees per kg, and then we saw that in Mumbai market the rate was around 20 rupees per kg. Then it clicked in my mind like why there is so much of difference. We have calculated price for transportation that was also not that much high, but still so then we realized that there are too many layers of mediators and we have to do something for that. So uh, first that like discuss with the friends and got some knowledge. I got very good alumni, and also through from them also we got good knowledge about everything. So then the idea came for building Fresho Card. Now, little bit introduction about the Fresho Card part. Uh, so in what we are doing today in Fresho Card, that we are building a complete hybrid model for farmers. Hybrid model means that we are providing end-to-end solutions to farmers, from like you can say soil to sale. So what we are doing, that we are opening network of physical centers, digitized physical centers at the village level. Because still Indian farmers, we believe Indian farmers are not that much educated that we can sell something them through only mobile app or through some call center and all. So it's a very unique model that we identify the geographies and then we open our physical centers. What we do there, that we have tie up with some companies for the soil testing part. What we do, that we provide soil database, crop and fertilizer recommendation to farmers. How we do it and why we do it? Because farmers are using same old agri practices from last, you can say 15, 20 years, 30 years. Still they are using the same fertilizers, same, and they even don't know how much kg, how many kgs they need to use per biga or per acre, per hectare. Still they don't know. Coming from the farming background, I understand that pain and why they are doing that, because they don't have that level of knowledge. Even there is no technology that they can calculate the soil data. Government is also doing so many effort, but we see that there is too much gap in the sector. So what we started doing, that providing soil database, crop and fertilizer recommendations to farmers. How this is work, that we do soil testing, post that it can tell easily like this much fertilizer is there, like this much nitrogen is there, NPK, whatever. So all the like how much percentage is already there, how much is required, and then we sell agri inputs like and do home delivery to farmers like seed, pesticide and fertilizers to farmers, and we only recommend them the amount of these agri input required for farmland. And this could be like higher than they are using, or this could be the lower than. But mostly like farmer started using too much fertilizers in their farmland. So this is helping farmers to decrease their cost for agri input, increasing the yield for them, and even proper use of fertilizers and pesticide, even how much seed they need to use when they were sowing. So this is how we are providing totally database farm advisory to all these farmers. Post that we have team of like, so we have different segments. One is like agri input segment. Post that we also onboarded financial institutions, that if farmer require any kind of loan, let's say they want tractor loan or they require any other agri equipment loans, even they want to, we are also advising them with the government services which they can take from the government. So through these centers, we are just educating all these farmers that how they can uh, take all these services. So post that, what we are doing, that so financial is another part, which is our another revenue stream. We have tie up with one a Japan-based startup where we are also giving credit to farmers through their platform. So they have very intelligent platform through that they can generate a unique credit score for individual farmers based on their past crop history and their uh, like buying capacity and all. So through that, we also started providing finance to farmers. Other than that, we helping all these farmers buying their product from their farms and selling to B2B customers. So we started with this idea only. First 2 years we were only a B2B company, like buying from farmers and selling to B2B customers. Today we are doing it as a little large scale. So right now you can say, for example, we have recently tied up with Reliance. So what Reliance do, that they have a model that they want to procure directly from farmers. So we are becoming aggregator for all these companies. You can say Ninja Cart, even Big Basket, Big Bazaar, every company who want to buy directly from farmers, we are providing them all the data like these are the data, these are the farmers, they are growing these vegetables. Even we can also telling them that these farmers are using these pesticide and fertilizer. Let's say sometimes some company want to procure less fertilizer, use crops. So we are also having that level of data, which is helping these companies to make decisions and faster procurement, also save the cost. We are becoming just aggregator for all these companies. Other than also, sometimes we also buy from farmers and sell to B2B companies. You can say right now Reliance is our biggest customer, and Udan and all these companies. And also there are many organized traders. They also do output purchase from us. So these are the revenue streams which we are doing at Freshocart. Now coming back to like the journey of Freshocart, how we started and what were the ups and how we reached to this level. So I always like I advise many startups, and my main thing thing about like startup advising and mentoring startups, and about like how we started and how we can become successful in this part. So there are many cases, like we started first, and we were very good at like building the technology part and even selling our products to the B2B customers. So we started in December 2016, and by March we were having all the five-star hotels as our customers in Jaipur city. So we started from a tier two city, which is like you can say Jaipur. So because we believe this model, these cities are near to farmlands, and that is the best place to start these kind of model, and then you can move to bigger cities. So all that hotels and everything was our client in the starting of 4 months, and we were doing good revenues. But again, that time agri tech was not evolved that much if you compare with today. So there were lack of like investors that time who were putting money in the agri tech, and it was like starting time for agri tech that some people were started putting money in that. And for first year we were built. So it was always vision to build a sustainable startup, that we don't have to go to the investors anytime in the future, and we will build a profitable business. But things don't go as planned, and we were like burning some money, and we also like in next 1 year there were times that we were not having any cash to survive, that how we can survive it, because there were very long payment cycles from these hotel customers. Even retailers were also paying with like you can say 60-90 days credit cycle, and which we have not imagined, and we were like we are in a trap, so how we should come out from this. Then and in these kind of situations, so there were also core team, two other core team members. So one like now we I can't, because company is losing money, I can't continue. Then and in these kind of situations, mostly you'll find like it will be very hard to find people who stay with you in these kind of situations. So our team, like only we were then left with the two core team member, and then the other like junior team members. And we thought like, what should we do now? How we can survive it? So then, so again, we waited for some time. I thought, let's wait for some more time. Let's do less business, but do with the profitability and all. In around March 2017, then some government of Rajasthan provided some scheme, through that we got some funding from them, and then again we got runway of next 6 months. So we thought, let's do some changing in our model. We can't give the credit to all these customers. We can give credit maximum to 30 days. Other than that, we'll want to do business with all these customers. So then we started with this model that now we can survive it. But after 6 months, again, there were some decisions. Because of that, we were unable to make profit, which is required for every business to survive. Then again, like, so in these times, in what happened, that your team always, what is the biggest struggle, that you unable to make the team which always work you with all the ups and downs. So post like around 2 years, I was left only that know how I need to survive. So I thought, uh, let's add more services. Let's add more services where we can get the money, where we can build the sustainability, and also what are the negative part, why we are unable to like make the profit. So we added more services. So you can say in around in 2019, we started building technology platform for farmers, even for the FPOs, and also the physical retail points. So we started building technology starting of 2019. Then we got some money as from some angel investor. Post that, after 2-3 months, we got again some money only for the survival part. That because our idea was liked by these investors, so we got more money, and then we started building this technology platform for the farmers, which we are doing today. Like how we manage physical outlet at the village level. These are managed by mobile applications. When we are selling to farmers, then like how the billing happens, billing software. So we have today we have very intelligent CRM system, through that we manage all these operations, even selling to farmers and all. So in last like around October, November, so we started this model. We first opened 2 physical centers in one district in Rajasthan only, and the numbers was very good. With like at, there was a time in around you can say October when uh, like we were only like 2 people in the company. Me and my wife, she also co-founded this together. So we were the only 2 employees in the company, you can say. started, we have done business of around, till that time we done business of around like 7-8 crore. And then again situations came that we were only two people in the company. Then we started building again from scratch the input model. We hired 3-4 people. They started our physical centers in 2 months, because that was a season time. We done sales of around, you can say, 10-15 lakh, and that was enough to pitch to some investors. So we started again talking with the investors. Then so before that, we went to more than like 30-40 investors, and we were unable to get big funds. So in this October November timing in 2019, post starting two physical centers, some Jaipur-based investors, he invested in many startups, so he put around 1 crore in our startup, and that was good enough for us to prove that now if we have this much of capital, we can scale very fast and we can make it build, and then we can go for then we can go again to the investors. So you can say till in first 3 years, there were more than like 30 investors who rejected us because of some reason, sometime because of the team, because of the our numbers were not strong, or because we were not getting enough gross margins. So there are so many reasons. There were many investors, they were not investing in the agri-tech at that time. But post this November 2019, and then till the March, till the lockdown happens, so we, from 2 centers, we went to 30 physical centers. And in these 5 months, we sold agri inputs and our advisory part. And there were more than 30,000 farmers who were buying from us only in the time of 5 months. How we did it? Because we knew that now this model can work. And we ran a pilot for this one, that for 2 centers, if we can do it, then we can scale this to the 30, 40, 50, or 100. There will not be any problem. If your numbers are strong, then we have able to build a very strong team also in this timing with only 1 crore of money. And we started doing business of more than like 1 crore per month in this 5 month timing only. So that was the time when we have given our again 100% that how we can build it, how we can bring good numbers. Suppose that again then lockdown happened, and it was like negative time, negative thing for most of the businesses. But for agri, it was a, like you can say, very boost up thing, and our business was not much affected because we were running a unique model, having physical centers at the village level. So farmers were also trusting, and for farmers also there was only one way to buy agri input in these kind of situations. And though there was no one who were delivering to their doorstep at the village level, and we were the only one who were delivering from the village to their fields. So that was a very, like you can say, that is our USP, that we were delivering in 2-3 hours. Other companies who are in this field, they are delivering in some companies are delivering 4-5 days, some are taking even a week time. And that was our biggest time, and these kind of negative situations. So then we started going for the funds, because we were having very good number. In 1920 we done business of around 5.2 crore. So post that we started going for the funds, and recently before 1 month we got another like $1.4 million in pre-series round of funding. So this was a journey. There were like every day there were ups and downs still, but we have taken some decisions. So because you are not a perfect person that every day you can take right decisions. So there were times then when we have taken wrong decisions. Because of that, we faced very negative situations. But also there were times when we done good amount of hard work. We have built very strong team, and because of all these positive decisions, we are today that we are doing more than like yearly. We are on the runway of 12 to 15 crore, and we are building a sustainable startup. So now I come to like how to build a sustainable startup, and how we are building a sustainable startup, and why we are focusing on that. So in like first 2-3 years, we started with a vision that we will never go for the external funding. We will build a business, we will build slow, but we will go with the sustainability. There are many startups today, like you talk about Zerodha, they never raise funds. They are a technology startup, so they can also scale fast. But there are many people, they are building without external funding also. So about sustainability, that like you should have a technology platform or your numbers that you don't require fund for the burning. Like what happened with most of the startups, where they do many offers and they have to burn so much of money to get the customers. So what is our vision, that we are providing very good services to farmers, that we are providing all the services at one place, we don't have to burn money to get the customers. We have to get the customer on our product basis, what product we are offering to all these farmers. Like today, there is no price transparency at the village level. There is no quality control for agri input. Even there is a mismatch in the demand and supply, because you talk about fertilizers in India. There are shortage of fertilizer every day, and the rates also, government also control the rate, but still the rates are very high in the season timing, and farmer unable to get the products also. So it happens many times. So these kind of things which we are offering the services, so it help us to build. So today our gross margins are enough that we don't require money to fund our operations, but we are only raising money to scale fast. So this is the difference between like building a sustainable startup, that we require money only for the expansion, not for the bonding and not for the acquiring the customer. What is your rate of like acquisition rate per customer? So our that cost is also low. How you are getting customer, that by word of mouth, that one person is telling to another that yeah, their services are very good and you can also try Freshocard for your agriculture needs. So this is how we are building it, and our vision is that uh, we should provide best services to farmers, that company can also survive, and we also don't lose anyone's money. So also, let's say tomorrow if we are able to get next round of funding, so we can also, there will not be any time that we have to shut down our company. We can still survive. Maybe the growth will not be that much faster, but still we will be surviving. So few takeaways from this journey, or like few things which I always recommend whenever I like get chance to interact with like budding entrepreneurs, or also like startup founders, or with the students who want to do something in future in their life. Because you can imagine, like, it's not easy to build any businesses. It always take everything in your life to put in the business. Then only you can build something. There are two three things which I always like advise to people who wanted to start up. One is like for anything, let's say every day every person has some ideas. Everyone want to do their own business, but if you have some idea, first validate that. Validation means run a small pilot, because don't go for like direct, I have this idea and we will do it, I have 1 lakh rupees money and I will find two customers and I will start selling. No, don't go for that. First run a pilot. Let's say find some customer, pitch their services, your services to them, and then find, are they happy, take their feedback, run at a very small scale. If you believe that scale is like you are successful in that, then only try to scale it. So there are many people I see, like they build very good technology, they invest too much of money in that technology platform, then they start pitching their services after investing like maybe lakhs of rupees or crores of rupees. So I don't believe in that. Like first you need to run a pilot for your product, whatever product it is, then go for like scaling part. Always focus on products. Like there are so many confusion on like what is the difference between normal business and startup, and like what is the definition of startup. So even our government of India also, they also describe what is the definition of startup. So mainly how you can change the things using the technology platform. There should be some technology which can help you in the scaling fast. It could be anything to manage your operations. It could be anything that users come through your technology platform, you sell your products, or you buy the products from anyone like customer or like your partners through the technology platform. Because if there will not be any technology, so it will be a like non-scalable business, you can say. And if there is no scale, then like you can't grow faster. And if you can't go faster, so that will be your personal business, where you can like maybe in 10 years you'll be doing business of 5 crore, 10 crore. So always try to think that how you can involve the technology in the problem, where the problem which you are solving, how you can solve that with the technology platform. Other than that, success is not overnight. Like you can't get success overnight. You have to wait here for some time. Maybe like also people say that there should be at least 1,000 days journey post that you can get some kind of success. So I also believe in that, and I also believe that we have experienced that uh, there will be many ups and downs, but still there you have to put your 100% there. Like because you can't build a business in 6 months or 12 months. There are companies, but their founders come from different background. They have different set of knowledges. But for most of the people, you have to stay in the ground. You have to stay in the market. That there will be good times. You can find many startups. They are working from last 10 years, and now they are like becoming famous. Now they are raising money. Now they are their business model is evolving, because you also don't know what is the right time for your business, because you also can't know everything about the business, that what is the right time, what problem you are solving, the solution which you are providing is really work or not. So if you are thinking about some business, then you need to stay in the market for like quite a long. If you are not getting like positive feedback in the starting, maybe 6 months or 12 months. Other than that, like I always tell everyone that you need to try something once in your life. It's not necessary that, let's say you are going for some job, and then like I never want to do something. I believe like everyone in the world, or everyone who come from good background, or like who has knowledge, they should try something. They need to try building something, because this experience is totally different. It's not about like I will be my own boss, or like people will be working for me and all. It gives you different kind of exposure. It gives you different kind of knowledge, that the thing that you are building something, you are creating some impact that will be totally different. So I always encourage everyone that do something small or big, it don't matter, but always try something, always try to solve some problem that you can create some differences. And it's like many people also try that post college also they start doing something. So my advice is that get some experience at least, because otherwise the time which you have, the early you started, that extra time you have to invest in your startup. So you should also take some relevant experience in your segment where you want to do something. So that will always help you to like scale fast. And because otherwise you will lack in something, and that will be a cause of your failure. uh, Also, if you have some idea, one more thing, that always try to find a good mentor. Because today, like advisor, because when we go to the school, we go to the college, every in these 15-20 years, then we always have some teacher who teach us about like uh, how to like everything. You can say history, computer science, even geography, law, everything is taught to us by our teachers. So the same rule also applicable for the startup founders. There also you require someone who guide you for the right path, who help you not to take wrong decisions, who also connect you with the people in the market, who can help you in getting different people. Maybe someone can help you in the hiring, someone can help you in designing your business model, someone can help you in raising the funds, someone can also help you in running the pilot, getting some initial customers. So if you want to do something, you always try that you uh, find some mentor for your startup also. So now last is like, what are our future plans at FreshoCard? So what we are planning to do today, that right now we are providing three set or four set of solutions to farmers. Now we believe today agriculture is contributing around more than 18% of GDP to the it's contributing 18% of the GDP. So, and it's also recession free, you can say, sector where it is always required for human being that they will be always dependent on the agriculture. So what we are planning that right today we have around 90,000 farmers who are taking our services, whether it's agri input or our call center based advisory, taking soil testing. So all these services, there are around 90,000 farmers who are already onboarded on FreshOver platform. And we now almost open 40 centers, and we also started giving franchisee for our centers. So our model is, our future plans is that in next 4 5 years, there will be like in next 2 years, there will be around like 20 lakh farmers which will be working with us, taking our services. Our center count will be around 100. We will be evolving more solution to farmers, like aggregator for farmers. Let's say they want to take machinery, so they can buy from our centers, and there will be the companies in backend, they will be delivering to the farmers. How we can use the right now there are some partnerships going on, that how we can help these farmers with tying up with the customer, that we can use more tech. Because what happened that there are many startups in the agriculture sector also. Everyone don't develop, some are developing some IoT solutions, some are developing different kind of solutions. we always believe in going in a partnership model. So we are just becoming a platform for all the interesting technologies which have been built in this agriculture sector, that how we can take all these technology platforms to the farmers through our physical and digital model. And so that we believe that our USP, that let's say some companies building some satellite imagery based solutions, some is building some weather forecasting solutions, some for like mm, crop health tracking, some company are building something for soil testing. So we are becoming a platform, a online platform, which will be helping all these companies to market their product for the farmers. So that's our vision. This year we will be doing around 10 to 15 crore in the business. In next 5 years, our plan is to do business more than 1,000 crores and build a company of more than 10,000 crores. So that's our like future journey. Uh, we can also take some questions, start taking some questions, and meanwhile I can take extra time because I believe that's also a good way to interact. So we can take some questions from now on also, and then we can extend that till the time we left. Hello.
Which our students would like to know from you. They have raised few questions. The question is, they're very much related to know you have received 10 crores funding from Rajasthan Venture Capital Fund and OFF Fund. So how does, they would like to know as to how does this venture funding actually work? What are those essential criteria which venture funding team would like to know from the entrepreneurs before funding?
Right. So there were many times I told you like more than 30 VCs or maybe angel investors, they have rejected us in first 2-3 years of our journey. Suppose that from last 1 year we are raising funds. Suppose that there was no problem that there were not many VCs, they were rejecting us in last 1 year. So what these people see, like I told you, like first you need to run some pilot. In today's this industry, but let's say because there are very few people who are like second generation founders, or they have sold one startup and building another company. So story for them is different. They can raise money with their face value only. Now we are talking about other 99% people, you can say. They don't have that much of that good face value that they will go to someone and they will give money, that you have very good experience, your grades were very good in your college timing, that you can raise funds easily. So what happened here, let's say you are working in, I can give example of agriculture. So what is the like criteria here? So there is no written criteria, but still the criteria works here. What criteria works here? That you need to be in the market already. You should be in the market first of all, at least for 6 months. Now, let's say if you are building a only technology platform, you are doing the operations, they first see the feasibility of your model, that what problem you are solving and is that scalable. So that's the biggest thing they see first. Let's say someone is building, right now there are many startups coming, they are raising too much of money. If you can take example of, let's say Khata Book, they are digitizing these retail outlets. Also, you can talk about like in health, there are many startups. So why people right now putting money in health and agri and all these sectors? So first they check, is it scalable? Are you using the technology to evolve this, and you are solving right problem or not? Because let's say now you want to do something in the food, and then it's already crowded. Already there are very big players. They are already become very big. So now if you want to do something in food tech or maybe in e-commerce, you will not get money. Why? Because there are already many startups. They have got the money, so the chances of getting money is very low in those kind of sectors. Now, let's say you are doing something in some new sector, or you are building some technology platform. Let's say you are building something for hospitals. Still, there are not so many players. Still, you can do something, and the market size for that segment is increasing. So, what like I will tell you, like let's say top 5 things what we see. One is what problem you are solving. Another, how scalable you are. How is the competition is that segment. One is how is your team, because team also matter around, you can say 30% for these VCs, your team also matters.
Yes.
The problem which you are solving and the team both equally matters. Then today also like your numbers also matter. how much business you have done. Let's say you are putting your own money, let's say 10 lakh rupees you are putting. So at least if you talk about agri tech, at least your revenue, if you are not coming from some very good, let's say 2 3 year experience of college, that kind of experience you have and that kind of team you have, at least your revenue should be around, you can say 20 to 50 lakh per month, or it should be yearly like more than like 2 3 crores. It should be in the range of 2 3 crores. It's not a rule that you should follow it, or like it's the benchmark for raising the funds, but most of the VCs prefer this. Even most of the angel investors also started preferring this. So if we are here talking about the venture capitalists, not about the angel investments. So for them, criteria is different. You can get maybe 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 50 lakh with the less traction also. But if you want to go for the VC funding, which you can say today starting from 1 million only. So for that, your numbers should be strong, your team should be strong, and the problem which you are solving. I always focus on that, how strong is my numbers.
Right. True. Thanks so much, sir. Second question is regarding the support that you had received from the government initially. Like, what was the support other than financial support? Did you receive any sort of support in terms of trying to, give you information pertaining to the business you had established?
Yeah, so like I believe, like as I told, like incubation and the mentor support. So that's very important if you are starting. Let's say I was having good experience, but I was having only 2 years of experience. I was having working with the startups, but I was not having experience of building a startup. So that what support government provided us, that government provided us a whole big building that there all the startups were sitting, free incubation space, and they given us around 30 lakh rupees also. And then they provided good parties, they provided mentorship. They have onboarded even like KPMG, EY, even IAM, these kind of people for mentorship for the startups. So that has changed the story for everyone. Because how this happened, that you have very good product, you have very good team, but still mentorship is required. So government help us in the capital, plus importantly the mentoring part. And they also gave exposure for us to, let's say there were some big events happening in the Jaipur, maybe in the New Delhi, in the Mumbai. Let's say you can talk about TIE events. So they were sending some startups, shortlisted startup, top startups from this program to all these events, and there were no cost, and they were sponsoring for all these events. So that gave very good exposure for us. Even they gave also chances to pitch in front of the investors in all kind of events. So all these help us that how to pitch it, how to prepare for the pitching. Mentors help us to building our pitch decks. So this is kind of support has been provided by the government. Even also, if you wanted to connect with some department in the government, that we can get some business from there, maybe from the IT, maybe from the agriculture, they always help us to connect with the department. So these kind of support, if a startup can get, that always help.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. That was really wonderful. The one of our student has asked, what was the most crucial part in running the business, the core entities?
Yeah. So the biggest struggle I found is to managing the team and retaining the team. So because what happened that you know yourself, you can't know your friend, he's your good friend, or he or she is your good friend. You know them from your childhood, your college friends, but still you don't know that, you can't know their mindset. Like let's say you are struggling from last one year, and you are not having money to maybe to survive for yourself also. Still you want to do it, and how you survive it. No one is giving you money for your survival. So you require that kind of team, dedicated team, who always say that if we want to leave this, we will leave it together. So team is very important part, because it's very hard for a single person to build something. It's because there are very few people, they are building single-handedly. But still, like, first focus on your team. In team also always focus on people from coming from different background. It's not that you are three IT engineers and you are building it, you are also doing sales, you are doing marketing, you are also building the software. Because prefer that one is coming from maybe marketing background, management background, one is coming from the technology background, one is having experience in managing the operations. So that is the best case team. And first discuss on the day one, like how long you are committed to this and what will happen if negative situations come. So that's the very biggest part, because if team is with you, then you can do anything. If team is going, team is, you are, the people in your team are going, you are adding new people and they are also not, you are unable to retain them, because you also can't give big salaries that you can retain anyone. So first focus should be on the team. We also struggle because of the team. Also in the business decisions, you are also, no one is perfect, so it's not necessary. Big companies also take wrong decisions, so everything is like hit and try, so you can't imagine that whatever you do you will do right only. So having team capital also, you can take wrong decisions. So for that, always run the small pilot for doing anything or scaling on the big scale. uh, so focus on the team with different experiences. That's my like biggest learning from the struggle, biggest struggle we have faced. That's because of that.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So, what skills do you look forward while hiring freshers? So, one of our student has asked this questions to you, sir.
Okay. So mainly like again for hiring, it could be like fresher or experienced people, like mostly like startup. After one stage, they prefer hiring the freshers. So most of the time, what the startups do, that they want someone with the 1 or 2 year of experience, because startup can't afford that teaching something. So I am just telling the reality of the startup world and how people are thinking, because we have also many people in our network. So mainly they see in the operation and the sales part, we always look for the experienced people. But in the technology platform, if someone is coming from, let's say, fresh graduate from some college, and they are having very good knowledge in the technology, like they have built some in some their internship or in their college timing, if they have built some solution or some product, like maybe mobile app, some backend for someone, some websites. So we also prefer freshers for that, because we believe like fresher can stay for the longer time, and if we teach them something, uh, they can be a very good resources. So there we see like you should have, in software you should have some experience of building something. Then that's the best people for any company, not startup, even for the big companies also, and for other operate like profiles. But in like Freshocard, agri companies, most of these hire around like our 70 to 80% workforce is coming from agriculture background, like BSc agriculture, MSc agriculture. So we prefer those kind of people, and they, it's not necessary they should have good experience. We have people who train them and then they can start working.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Sir, another one student has asked that he actually wants to go in for a startup immediately after completing his post-graduation program. Is it advisable for him to do that? He has done some of his groundwork, but is it really advisable? What is your suggestion on this front?
Now, if you really want to do it, it's not like if you are committed. The things which I have told, you need to remember all these things, because these always, all these things help you always. How is your team? Are you also having good mentors for that who can help you in building the startups? It's not like you need to, there is no rule that you need to go to the job and then only you can start. If you are really committed and you can build yours, like solution is totally unique, you are solving some unique problem, then you can also start. But look for like how the always, like, note down all these things. How much capital will be required, how you will be getting that capital, how long you can survive with that capital, who will be the working with you, who will be your mentor, who will be your initial customer, how much money they will be paying you, and then how you will be, you should have a plan of at least like next 1 and 1.5 year. Never start something that you will be getting money from investor in next 6 months and then you will be doing the startup. If you have your financial planning with you for next 1 to maybe it could be 2 years, then you can start immediately. There is no problem in that. But you need to keep in mind all these things. Never start something on the sake of investor that you will get invested and then you will be the successful.
Yes, true, sir. Sir, we have got our director, academic director, Dr. Durga Prasad, sir. I'd request Durga Prasad, sir, if he has got any questions, he may pose it to the speaker here.
Yeah, just one small question. As you mentioned, yeah, initially I want to say your talk is nice. And then as you mentioned that you are from Rajasthan, if you just observe in Rajasthan itself about the dairy industry, particularly RCDF, Rajasthan Cooperative Dairy Federation, they have a brand of Saras milk. Okay, while giving to the milk producers, we have some kind of a formula for quality versus pricing. Like they use two parameters. One of the important parameter for pricing. Likewise, do you have some kind of a device where you can look into from the producers itself any kind of agricultural products, particularly fruits and vegetables you take? That is important because it's highly perishable. Do you have any quality versus pricing? The moment you look into some parameters, it will decide the pricing. Like in milk, the instrument itself, it will tell the price. Once you fix up the fat fat rate per kg fat, this much. So do you have any such kind of?
Yeah, so how we are working is that today we are not going in that model like we should have some device, and there are some companies they are also building some devices. What we are doing that we are building an end-to-end solution for farmers. So how we are doing is that whenever farmer is buying something, so we are only procuring from the farmers who are like almost our customer, because in the output side there is too much produces which already our farmers are having. So we are tracking that in the crop, we are using traceability here with our own data, that what farmer, which seed they are growing, what fertilizer and how much they are using, which pesticide they are using. So we know the complete crop history for the farmers where we are working with. So this is helping us. Right now we have not monetized it, that we can also help these farmers in selling their products on the premium, which they are using like less fertilizers and the quality control. So right now, like we are also started working with the Reliance, so they have tie up with some company, they can detect the moisture and all in the grains, and also some other quality parameters. So we are just outsourcing if the client required that, but we are going with a unique model that our data will be our traceability, and we can like tell all this data to the buyers that this farmer use these fertilizer and pesticide. Do you want to buy it? Or if they are doing it organically, then we can also ask them that we have this data. They have not used anything. Now we also want premium for these farmers. So this is how we are doing it.
Okay.